podcaster who's been around in the podcast community and wanted to try his hand at doing some audiobook recording. So threw my hat in with him, and we'll see how those audiobooks take off.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna have to check a couple of those out, and like the other books, they're pretty affordable. Now it says the Holy Shit book, right? It says Volume 1 Christianity. Does that imply there's a Volume 2?
There will be 4 total volumes. The next volume I'm still in the works on because I want to get it exactly right. The Holy Shit series is more of an academic approach rather than my normal flippant satirical approach to dealing with these issues, and not academic in the sense of you need a college degree to understand what's going on here, but academic in the sense of actually breaking down the doctrines of these religions and showing them to be, by any literal sense of the word, insane, and how the biggest issue here that I try to point out is how many believers don't actually understand or know what's in these doctrines, and yet when they call themselves a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew, you're saying by proxy that you believe the things in these doctrines,
Correct.
even the most insane
Right.
ideas within them. So Volume 2 will be dealing with Islam, and of course I want to get this exactly right. I don't want to have anybody coming back going, "Oh, you messed up here, there, or the other." So it is a lot of work to make sure that I approach this from the proper standpoint and get all of my information correct going into it. I will also be doing Volume 3. Will be dealing with Hinduism, and I think that's one of the ones that I'm going to get some of the biggest backlash from.
Why is that?
Even more so than Islam, because atheists and Hindus tend to get along. There's not a lot of argument between atheists and Hindus. More so recently, there has been because of a shift towards a more fundamentalist perspective within the Hindu world, especially in India right now, which I think has been sort of brought on by the rise of fundamentalist Islam in the area. But we're definitely seeing a shift towards a more fundamentalist viewpoint when dealing with Hinduism. So I think Hinduism is something that needs to be addressed because although a lot of Hindus really understand and view their mythology as mythology, there's a lot of ideas that still permeate their social structure, especially like in India and areas where Hinduism is very prevalent, and a lot of the social aspects of life there. We deal with the caste system and sexism and things of that nature within Hindu communities, and a lot of this comes from the Gitas and the doctrines of Hinduism, and it's not so much dealing with whether or not Shiva and Ganesh and Vishnu are real figures or real characters, but how the other underlying parts of the doctrine sort of influence the social structure of the communities within the Hindu communities. So,
and was that the third one you said?
That'll be the third one, yes.
And what's the fourth?
The fourth will just deal with your general spiritualism and the outlying religions like Scientology and Mormonism and things of that nature, and just the idea of any sort of theistic doctrine and the idea of how when you acquiesce to say that this is what I am, I'm a Scientologist, or I'm a Mormon, or any of these things, you're acquiescing to some very strange and insane ideas, and how can we move past that acquiescence? I like to mention in these books That my purpose isn't to take anyone's God away, not the idea of God itself. I don't find that someone having a deistic idea of God is a problem. I don't think that it's really been a problem where people are like, I think there might be some sort of higher guiding power out there, but I'm not trying to pick and choose who can use what bathrooms. Deists have never really been an issue, and I don't think that the idea of God in a deistic sense really has been a problem. When people say, "Hey, I believe that there's more than this life, and this world," then that's not where the problem really lies. So I try to tell people one step at a time. Let's get rid of the doctrines. Let's get rid of these terrible ideas that people take literally all too often, especially in a fundamentalist sense. And then let's take one step forward and let's get rid of that. And if you still feel like you need a God in your life, you still need something to believe in, that's fine. Find your own thing. Make it your own thing. If you want to believe in Russell's Teapot, believe in Russell's Teapot. Because Russell's Teapot isn't telling you to, check people's genitals at the door, and Target. So if we can take these little baby steps, maybe that's it's at least some step towards progress.
I like it a lot. Now, where can people reach you, Casper?
Oh man, I am openly available on Facebook at all times. I'm also open to emails from people. My email address is casper@atheistrepublic.com. Really simple email, and anybody is free to email me or reach me on Facebook, private message me. I have an author page on Facebook, but my personal page, Jason Rigsby, is totally public. I don't make anything private there. I just don't have any interaction with my family, my wife and kids and stuff. Nothing about them goes on to my personal page. So that's how I keep the distance there for their sake. But my personal page is public, so I encourage people to friend me on Facebook. If you want to talk to me, send me a message. I'm always available. I've got all the Facebook apps and stuff on my phone, so if you send me a message, I'm going to get it.
Great. Well, Casper, thank you so much for being on the Phil Ferguson Show, and thank you for all these wonderful books. And I can't wait to hear about the rest of these holy shit books.
Oh, definitely. Actually, my next book that I'm working on right now is the Handbook for the Recently Deconverted. I don't know if you've seen the movie Beetlejuice. There's a little book in that movie called the Handbook for the Recently Deceased, and it kind of gave me the idea to do just a little general guide for people who have recently left their religion and realize that they may be an atheist. So trying to work up this little handy guide for them to traverse their way into our little weird world of atheism here.
I love it. Well, once again, thanks for being on the show, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you for having me.
All right, bye-bye. All right, folks, hopefully you enjoyed this show, number 170. Sadly, I've got to go run and pack, and then I've got a whole bunch of calls to make today since I have a shortened week. So if you try to contact me in the next few days, in the first few days of June, keep in mind that I'm going to be hard to reach. I'll be at the Reason Rally. Again, look for me in the orange shirt that says Illinois or Illini or something like that on it. Bright orange, so hopefully not too many people are wearing orange. And I hope to see you at the Reason Rally. Ciao.